Right then folks, I've just done a couple of, they're not conversions really, it's just a paint up of white horses to make them into pinto horses for the Apaches and Indians of Britain's detail. I know they're quite hard to come by and they're quite expensive when you do get them with Apaches on them. They go for about 10 and 15 quid, maybe more sometimes if it's on bids. I'm just showing you a quick way. I've just done a couple. I've done in brown and black pinto horses. So just to show you the paints I use the Citadel paints mainly, and yeah, a Baden black and base Morfang brown, and the brown matches the brown quite well. This is an original pinto horse, and yeah, so just going to quickly show you how I do them. I'll do a brown one first. I'll give the pot a shake. This is going to be a bit different because I've never done these in front of like this with a phone in front of me. Right, so basically all I'm doing is just copying these markings. So drop the knuckle joint of the horse. I'll try and go all the way around. Oh, sorry. Got to try and get it in the picture for you, in the frame. There you go. That's the bit at the front. Put a bit more on there just to hide that. That's that front bit. Gonna put a little bit more straight around there. That's that one. Just going to move these paint pots to the side so I can get my arm round, so you can see it a bit better. Right, next one I'm going to do is do this bit at the front here on this one. Just try and roughly get it the same. I always draw the outline first. I do put the paint on quite thick on the brush because it helps the coverage, otherwise you get white lines and the paint comes through. You don't have the original white plastic you can see through, but you can always give it a second coat. But this is a little tip for those who do want pinto horses but obviously don't want to spend the money on because they are quite expensive to buy. If you don't want to spend all that money on a pinto horse, you can just buy a couple of pots of paint and do it yourself. Little brush. And what I do, so to distinguish between an original and a thing, one that's been painted up separately, I always try and add a different marking on it to the originals, so then you know that it wasn't an original to begin with, so it doesn't devalue the actual original pinto horses. And as you can see on this original one, I have tried to scrape the paint off deliberately because the tail was broken and I could always repair it, because that's a good way of telling that if it has been painted up separately, because the home workers from Britain's Detail, they copied a format. Oh, I've got my thumb on that one. They copied a format of the markings, so always try and put a different marking on it. Like I've put an extra one on the joint on the back of the rear of that leg. And this one comes all the way down and around. Like I said, I put it on quite thick, otherwise it gives a good coverage then. And it's a bit more difficult doing this with the phone camera in front of you because it's in your way. but it doesn't have to be perfect circle. You know, they weren't sprayed on by the Apaches and the Plains Indians back in the day. The horses were actually like this. But when it dries, it dries quite well, and it gives it the desired effect. Right, there you go. I could do a little bit more on this one, just to come around here to get a bit more on that leg. That's better. I could go up a bit more on that one. So I turn this round, get on this side. So I'll make this one a bit higher. But yeah, so this is a good little way of making a few pinto horses. I could have cleaned this one up a bit better than this before painting it, but I thought I'd just do a quick little video for you, just to show you how easy it is to do. You can clean them up, take a bit longer on it if you wanted to. I'm going to set this one up down a bit lower. On this one, and then you know, when you see it, you know that it's not an original. I'm saying, then what I do, I'll let this dry, and then see how it goes afterwards. But yeah, I'm saying, if you put them two together, that's an original one. When it dries, it will look the same. I'm going to quickly do a black one with black paint, so you can see that as well. I hope I've caught most of it. I will check this video to check I've got the horse as I'm painting it in the shot. Ooh. Just going to clean the brush. Just clean the brushes up. Basically, it's an old soup can. Bit of water in it. Clean the brush off. These are obviously use Citadel paint brushes, Citadel paints. I do use Tamiya paints and a few other paints as well. So once again, I'll copy the markings, but obviously this time in black. Like I said, I'll put it on quite thick because it covers better then, and because I don't think the home workers for Britain's Detail back in the day were particularly accurate with their brush strokes, if you've seen some of the figures and the way they look. But then saying that, I did come across a load of home workers figures a few years back, and they were done to perfection. So I'm just going to turn this one round, see this original. Let's get this on there, but the more paint on there the better, I think, on these ones, because I think they just splodged it on with big paint brushes. Like I said, it doesn't matter if it's not perfectly round or oval or whatever shape. Like I say, same again, I'll put a little mark on the back, which is different to the original markings, so that we then know it's not an original figure. So someone, if you put it on one of the forums or a Facebook page, Britain's Detail conversion page, people will know that that's hopefully been done deliberately to hide the original. Make sure so it's not known as an original. Like this one, I'm going to do copy it a bit more better on this one. I'm not the best painter in the world. I do have a crack at it though, because the more you do, hopefully the better you get at it. Let's try and smooth that one off a bit more around there. There you go. That's that side done. And get this on here now. Like I said, it doesn't have to be exactly the same. I'm going to move this one over a little bit. Move it forward. Try and round it off a bit. But yeah, this hopefully save you a few quid. I think these paints are only £2-3 quid each, and a brush. But most of you, some of you, most probably have got build model kits and do a bit of converting yourself. There you go, that's it. I'm just going to do that little one there. There you go. I'm just going to clean this brush out quick. Don't want the paint drying hard on it. But there you go, there's a couple of pinto horses in black and brown. Which gives you a good idea what you can achieve. So like I said, you know, I have painted these horses white before doing this before. I've done the reins. But then you can put your patches on there. And once that dries, it dulls off a bit. Excuse me. Like on this one. Ooh. Once this dries and it's not so shiny because it's wet, it dries a bit more like this colour. So yeah, little painting video of how to do a couple of pinto horses for your Britain's Detail Apaches and your Indians. So thanks for watching, and I'll be doing quite a few videos over this weekend. I've got quite a lot on, so got a few projects. I've got to do some more German cavalry, got to do a couple of gun crews. So yeah, thanks for watching, and I'll see you soon. Cheers, bye.